I have 30, and my husband, 33 have been married for 10 years and together for 12. During that time, we have dealt with my husband's estranged father, who had battled alcoholism and other health issues, who often vented about his problematic sister, my husband's aunt. This specific aunt has tormented the entire family, including our husbands and our shared mill, and everyone has cut communication with this aunt. For example, this problematic aunt was recently found guilty of forging a signature on their grandfather's deathbed for the entire inheritance. Over the last 12 years, we've tried to help his father, who was mostly unresponsive and avoidant, but the relationship remained strained and he passed away this past summer. My husband and I planned the funeral with the help of my husband's aunts and uncles on his dead side, excluding the problematic aunt. My Sil and Bill opted out of helping plan the funeral because they said it was too painful and stressful to handle. We understood, but we were greatly frustrated by my Sil when she began adding unnecessary stress by collaborating with the problematic aunt. We tried to include my Bill even after she said not to, because we felt it was the right thing to do, and she called us to tell us if we continued it would affect his health. At one point she wanted us to push the cremation memorial out to D for weeks for them to be able to help more, but then she changed her mind and said even if we pushed it, it would probably just fall on her. I took a week off work and cancelled a conference to help put the pieces together to help my husband plan an honorable service. We understood that my Sil and Bill could not help, but we felt like our Sil was creating additional chaos by frequently calling us to relay the problematic aunt's complaints during the entire funeral planning process. This continued despite numerous people warning my Sil about engaging with her. Her reason was that she likes to keep her enemies close. We urged her to stop and she blamed me for trying to control who she spoke to and said that we excluded her from the funeral planning process, even though we have numerous emails and messages from her telling us that they could not be involved. I am hurt by her false allegations, have nothing to gain and not to be disrespectful, but my father's husband did not have any assets or money, just a lot of mess was left behind for us to figure out. We've paid for the funeral and any expenses that have come up while trying to close out his affairs. It has been 6 months since and I've initiated multiple heart-to-hearts to resolve our issues, foster genuine friendship, and begged to be involved in my nephew's life, but she's only ever reached out when she needed me to help with her business. Recently, she invited us to a Friendsgiving dinner, but we were out of the country for 2 weeks and asked to come over a few days later. She changed her mind and said we now had to wait 23 weeks because she had too much going on to get sick by us. We were not sick, even though she and her husband are anti-vaxxers and got others sick. I had been telling her about our vacation plans for months, but she says she didn't know we were out of the country. She refused to let us see our nephew, even with a negative test, and instead of addressing the issue, she made further false allegations about not including them in the funeral planning. We felt like she was punishing us because we could not attend her Friendsgiving dinner. The most hurtful thing to us is she said that my Bill felt the same way as her. I told her to reach out to the family to confirm the truth and that I was no longer going to allow her to continue this narrative. Instead, she reached out to them to tell them I was treating her poorly. My husband was devastated and tried reaching out to his brother, with no response. I sent the proof to my Bill to show him the truth about her telling us not to include them and he did not respond to my messages. My husband saw him in person a week later, and my Bill said he didn't want to get in trouble and shut down my husband's attempt to talk about it. My Sil is suddenly reaching out to family members that have also asked to spend time with my nephew, including my Mill and Phil, my husband's stepdad, to allow them to see her son more. They are so happy about the increased engagement, although they know it has something to do with what is going on. I got a call from my Mill yesterday that the family is going to put their head in the sand for self-perseverance. No one, besides my husband, that witnessed it happen will say to my Bill or Sil that what she's claiming is not true and that it's wrong. I fear that she's going to continue to punish me by withholding an opportunity for a relationship with my nephew. I'm reconciling with the reality that I may never have a normal relationship with my nephew for finally standing up for myself. I understand a family's choice to turn a blind eye because they don't want to be in my shoes, but I also feel completely isolated now. I'm starting to doubt myself for finally standing up for myself